Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by tall mountains, lived a 24-year-old man named Marco. His heart was always uneasy, and his mind never rested. Thoughts rushed through his head from morning till night, leaving him exhausted and unhappy. He often felt weighed down by regrets from the past and fears about what was yet to come. His mind was like a raging storm. He couldn't relax, couldn't sleep peacefully, and had almost forgotten how to smile. One day, Marco heard about a distant village high in the hills where an old wise man lived. The villagers said that this man had once been a famous psychologist in the city, who had helped countless people discover peace within themselves. Now in his old age, he had left behind the noise and chaos of city life and settled in a quiet, natural place, where he sometimes shared his wisdom with those who came to seek it. Hearing this, Marco's heart filled with hope. Maybe this man can teach me how to find peace, he thought. Determined to meet him, he set out on a long journey across winding roads and steep hills. After many days of travel, Marco finally arrived at the peaceful hill village. There, surrounded by greenery, stood a small house covered in vines. On the porch, an old man sat with his eyes closed, his face calm and serene. Marco stepped closer and said gently, "Grandfather, my mind never stops thinking. I feel restless and tired. Please, can you help me find peace?" The old man slowly opened his eyes and smiled kindly. "So you seek peace," he said softly. "Then come with me. I will give you a simple task." He led Marco to his small yard, filled a glass to the very brim with water, and handed it to him. "Take this glass," the old man said. "Walk from here to the edge of the village and return, but be careful. Not a single drop must spill." Marco was puzzled but determined to obey. Holding the glass steady, he began to walk slowly down the narrow village path. The street was lively. People passed by, shopkeepers called out to customers, children played, and dogs barked. But Marco didn't look at any of them. His entire attention stayed fixed on the glass in his hands. Step by careful step, he made his way to the end of the road and back. When he returned, he smiled and said proudly, "Grandfather, I did it. Not even one drop spilled." The old man nodded and asked, "That's good, but tell me, did you notice the children laughing and playing by the roadside? Did you hear the barking dogs?" Marco looked surprised. "No, I didn't. I was focused only on the glass." The old man's eyes twinkled as he replied gently, "And that, my son, is the secret you have been searching for. Peace is not something you find outside. It already exists within you. When your mind stays in the present moment, there is no room for regret, no fear, and no confusion. Just as you kept your focus on the water, your mind stayed still. You were not lost in the past or anxious about the future. You were simply here now." Marco felt something shift inside him. For the first time, he understood what true peace meant. He bowed his head respectfully and said, "Grandfather, I understand now. To calm my mind, I must live in the present moment. That is where peace begins." The old man smiled warmly. The sun dipped behind the mountains, spreading a golden light across the earth. Birds soared back to their nests, and a soft breeze carried the scent of evening. Marco turned to leave, but he was no longer the same troubled young man who had arrived. His heart was light, his mind still, and his spirit calm, for now he knew how to quiet the storm within. If you enjoyed this story, share it with others and spread a little peace. Stay kind, stay calm, and remember, the present moment is where your true happiness lives.